How y'all doing tonight? Happy Easter to all of those who celebrated this past weekend. Hope you had a wonderful family experience, especially if you got those little ones out there with the Easter egg hunts. Um, thank you all for joining us tonight, and we have again another great show for you all. When do we not have a great show for the viewers?
Never. I'm just gonna
Um,
say that.
right. For all those who join or who are watching this video, please remember to share it with your friends, like and subscribe. And we are here again tonight to talk about 5 quick tips to boost your attractiveness to your spouse. That's
Mhm.
right. 5 quick tips to boost your attractiveness to your spouse.
Lover or, committed, whether you're dating or in an actual relationship.
Right.
Everybody should be looking, forward to looking good and, coming off attractive to their lover.
Right. I mean, and then everyone likes a boost to their attributes.
Mhm.
Whether you're charismatic, courageous, brave, or what have you. Everyone likes to find ways to boost their characteristics and attributes, and why not your attractiveness? And understand that the attractiveness is not just a physical thing. It can encompass your personality, your drive, your
Behaviors.
behaviors,
Mhm.
your habits, and so have you, your mental mindset,
Mhm.
things like that. So,
Yeah. So even that's actually great news, right? So even if you're not like a 10, that's okay because there are ways that you can make yourself more attractive. That doesn't necessarily require you to run off and get, surgery or something like that. You can just accentuate your features and things that we will also get into, like my husband was mentioning.
right. Yeah, and these tips actually go beyond anything that like my wife was saying is not a physical thing, um, or material rather. These aren't material tips per se. It's more so enhances of yourself, your attitude, and your character.
Yeah. So, like we were saying, if you're dating, right, these are things that you can do that will make yourself stand out. Aside from making sure you look good and smell good and all that other stuff, that is definitely important. And definitely is a way to make sure that you stand out and be attractive to the guy or girl that you're, scouting and looking out for. So,
Right.
but at the same time, it's, if you're in a relationship and or married, then it's even important as well to keep up your attractiveness so that you can keep that spark going and, have that person always looking at you like, wow, I'm really happy and lucky to be in this relationship.
Right. And I'm gonna throw this out here too. So all those girls out there, those ladies who are competing for men, this is how you can get the one up
Mm-hmm.
on your competition.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to tune in, you want to listen to these tips,
Yeah.
because this is the way that you can win that man over.
Yeah, and even too for men, right? Because I think at some point a man is also has to make himself appealing and attractive for a woman in order for her to be interested in what, him to entertain her and whatnot, or her to entertain him.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and I guess hit on number one.
Okay.
All right.
I think this is the only one. Number one is probably the only one that pertains a bit to your physical, but slightly different. And it's mainly saying that not to focus on your imperfections. So don't dwell on those things that aren't your highlights, right? Don't keep bringing them up. Don't advertise them, put them on display first by saying stuff like, "Oh, I look fat," or or apologizing even for just how you look, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I look, such and
A
such."
hot mess.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just try to save that because that insecurity isn't very attractive, and that shows insecurity because you're not speaking highly of yourself.
Well, I have a question. Why do
Mhm.
women use that? Do I look fat? That why do women ask their spouse that question?
Because of insecurity. Maybe they're wearing something and they're like, man, do I look fat? Like they're thinking within their head. Most of the time, especially their spouse, they're thinking within themselves, like, "Ee," like, maybe they're not feeling attractive.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how honest should that answer be coming from the spouse?
Oh, that's a good one. Wow. I would think maybe about look, can we use 7? They always say, and you can't use 7, right? I would say, okay, I'm going to say an 8 or maybe a 9. And the only reason why I'm not saying a 10 is because I think it needs to be a soft honest. Like, don't be blunt, rude, honest about it, if there is something going on. But maybe an 8 or 9 for like a soft honest, right? Where you can put it into say it in like a nice way, or like, oh, maybe just a little bit, chubby, but hey, that's probably that burger we had for lunch, something like that, where you'll soften the
Lies. So
no,
women
that
want
isn't a lie.
lies.
That isn't a
So
lie,
you
though.
want 70%
That
of the truth and
no,
then throw in a 30% lie.
no.
So men, there you go. That's the answer to the question.
That is not a lie. That is just simply saying, hey, yeah, you may be looking a little chubby, but let's say it's because of the burger you ate. Just throwing it out here. I'm not saying you fat or nothing because you just fat. Let's just say it's the burger. So, I mean, that's like being honest, but, not directly saying, oh, you fat because you fat and lazy and you ate all that food and you need to stop eating that food, and you just start the beating down, don't do that.
No, yeah, by all means, no. But I was just checking on the honesty. Like when the question is presented to the male spouse, honey, do I look fat in this dress? I just wanted to know, to keep men safe out here, the answer to the question, because men don't know how that. It's a lot for real. I mean, a lot of men don't know how to navigate that question when it comes to, their spouse asking, do I look good in this dress?
Yeah.
How much of an honest question do you all really look for? Because I know that you all are not looking for the straight up honest answer.
Well, that's why I said an 8 or a 9, because the 10 would be the straight up, you do look a little chunky because you ain't been getting up in the morning exercising like you said you were supposed to do. So that's the reason why. So yeah, that's that, so bring it down just a notch.
I mean, what if it's just a yes or no?
Oh, then
do I look fat? And then he says yes.
Okay, well then I think that's okay, because you wouldn't want your wife to go out in something that does not look flattering in your eyes, nor to somebody else's eyes, right? So maybe she is thinking, hey, I like this outfit I got on, but maybe it doesn't look too good. Yes, tell the truth.
So why don't women know if they're fat or not?
I think women do know if they're fat or not. Okay. I'm pretty sure because they asked the question. Right. Yeah, do I look fat? Or like
you ask a question because you don't know.
No, that is not true. Most of the time you're asking because you want a little reassurance in a way, like or a little confidence boost. Maybe the woman is feeling fat in that dress and she's hoping that her man lies a little bit and says, oh, you look beautiful. I mean, I don't know.
The lie matters.
Yeah.
So lie 30% of the way. And like my wife said, give an honest soft 7% on the honey, do I look fat question. And you guys, you will win every time.
Well, women, let me just say, you'll win every time if you can go right back to what we said. It's one of the main ways to make yourself more attractive is to not focus on those imperfections, right? Let's not point them out. Let's not say, honey, do I look fat? And instead just say, my workouts are paying off a little bit. I've seen a little progress, not quite there yet, but that's okay. I'm going to wear a dress that is flattering for me. Do those things that are going to help boost your morale and your overall confidence within yourself, so that you're not questioning, having insecurity about, how you look or stuff, That plays a big thing. And of course, like we said, just how you speak of yourself, that plays a huge part in whether or not, you really love yourself, right? And that also shows, hey, a person can look right at you and see, hey, if you love yourself by how healthy you are, if you are vibrant, you look good, you cut up. Men too. If y'all cut up, y'all looking good, like a woman will know for sure. Yes, this man cares about himself, is taking care of himself, and that's a great thing. Men pay attention to that. So take the time to really, if you're not exactly where you want to be at, that's okay. Just take the time to get there and love yourself where you're at in the moment too, so that you're not mentally in a space that can make yourself unattractive.
Right. It is important to keep up your physical. Because the reason being is because, especially if you're dating, you want to increase your chances and your likelihood of landing a mate. So more than likely, fitness has a lot to do with it, and the appearance and attractiveness. Now, I understand that people are attracted to different, sizes and shapes
Mm-hmm.
of people. So it is important to gauge with your
Yeah.
spouse on that. One way is to ask that question: do I look fat? So that's the reason why I did all of that, to really gauge and give men hints and confidence on how to answer that question, but also too for women to ask that question to see what your spouse or who you're courting really likes, what type
Hmm.
of physicality or body shape your spouse likes, because we all have a type, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
um
And that's
so
okay.
right, and that's okay, because we all don't like, not everyone likes the same thing.
Hmm.
So I'm an ideal believer that there is someone out there for everyone, but um by all means, it will help you to get the most success at getting that boyfriend or girlfriend by maintaining your physical appearance.
Yeah, for health too,
Right.
right? For your health reasons. So, kind of like I was saying earlier, as far as, a person can look at you and say, like, wow, you have great skin, like, you're glowing. And even women, if you have come to, in particular, if you have come to love your body, like what looks good on you, things like what things don't really look good on you or don't make your features as flattering as they would if you had something else on. So definitely look in the mirror and take in consideration, like, how can I insinuate and put big expressive self me out here in a way that looks great, and also where I don't feel the need to beat myself down with questions like, oh, do I look fat, or apologizing for how you look. Don't ever
Right.
do that. Just love yourself where you're at. Focus on how you can just show that, like, hey, I'm here, this is who I am, I love it, and I'm beautiful, and I'm not going to focus on them flaws. I'm going to work on them. By all means, I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to work on them for my own health. Don't not be realistic in the things you need to do. Definitely take that into consideration, but just try to keep that positive mindset as you do these things that you do.
Right. And then also too, other imperfections as well as like mental health. If
Hmm.
you know that you are struggling mentally,
Pessimistic,
right,
that's a big one. Hmm.
and please go get help. Go get some sort of therapeutic help, professional help dealing with that, because dealing with that and trying to maintain a relationship can be hard and difficult.
Yeah,
So you want to
yeah.
make sure that you can gauge mental your mental health, especially if in the case that your relationship may be causing more stress due to your mental health. So you don't want to double down on stress when there are some things that are unresolved and that's going on with you.
Yeah, because that's unattractive,
Right.
especially when you're dating, right? Showing
Right.
off those things can be unattractive. You want to show, like, hey, I got high self esteem. I'm
Hmm.
positive. I'm able to focus on those good things. I'm not going to bring you down like by being negative about myself. Even if a person likes you, you will be the one to point out the flaw and they'll be like, ooh, look,
Right. I mean, because think about how that looks on a first date.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
Yeah.
all you are talking about is your mental health and how depressed you are and sad and things like that. So it'll
Yeah.
be very hard for you to land that a second date with that person.
Yeah.
Going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They may be a nice person and willing to help you, but you want to be your best. Just like
Yeah.
during an interview. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to keep naming all your imperfections or things that are going on with you. You want to maintain positivity and speak highly
Yeah.
of yourself and speak the truth. But like my wife said, work on your imperfections, because those working on your imperfections will make you more attractive
Mm-hmm.
and make you more fit for marriage.
And confident in yourself,
Right.
right? Even overall, like, especially when you see that progress, you'll gain even more mental boost of confidence. Like, hey, I did this and darn, I look good. Like, look at that. I done did this. It makes yourself feel good. So, yeah, definitely work on not dwelling on your imperfections.
Yeah.
So,
And for our viewers out there, at any time, if you all have any questions, please
yeah.
chime in and we'll be more than glad to address those things with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yep. Thank you for tuning in.
And you go with number 2?
And then number 2, improve your communication skills.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that will boost your attractiveness, especially if you can really communicate. Um,
Hmm.
I love a good communicator,
Yeah.
and I wasn't always the best communicator, but I've learned throughout the years of being in my marriage on what communication looks like, and then also to catering your communication for your spouse. Understanding that if you're in a new relationship or in a new marriage, you have to shed the selfishness in the way that you communicate, because it's not always about you.
Yeah.
You need to talk to your spouse the way that you know they like to be addressed.
Yeah, setting clear intentions. That's my favorite, right? When
Mhm.
you're able to be clear and direct in what you're trying to say, that is so attractive. And
Right.
whether you're dating or in a marriage, right? So, especially dating, because right off back, if you can be clear, honest, direct, the person knows what's going on, and in their mind, it'll even set a click like, that's attractive because I know what to expect for them, right?
Right.
It provides like a sense of comfort in a way, and a sense that you can, hey, be trusted. So definitely being able to set clear intentions, be direct, and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to communicate, and also being kind when doing that, right? That's a big one. We all love somebody that's kind and able to communicate even those hard things in a way that isn't trying to hurt a person or, put a person down or anything like that. So,
Right. Yeah. Men be decisive, in decision
yeah,
making,
that's
and,
a good one.
where we're going on family vacation,
Yeah,
that type of question. Make sure
yeah.
that you're able to put in some sort of input, help out your wife when she needs to make decisions.
Quick decisions too. That's attractive too. Quick, decisive decisions, and then you're
Where we're
sticking
going to
to
eat
it.
tonight.
Yeah, you can stick to it. You can decide on that. A woman will like that. Like
Right.
you ain't asking her. You can say, "Oh, we eating this tonight."
Right. But more than likely, guys, it's going to be an answer like, no, I don't feel like eating that. So then it's back on her to pick what
Ladies,
we're going to eat.
and then you got to say, well, instead of saying it like that, you got to say, try again, babe. That's a great suggestion, but you got another one or something like that.
Right.
Softens that blow a little bit.
Right. But
Yeah.
yeah, improved communications can help reduce arguments.
Mm-hmm.
It can better help your current relationship to last longer. And it'll help better communication will help to
Yeah.
build a good foundation for your relationship.
Yeah.
And then it will also allow your spouse to be more open to you, and then also you being more open to them as well.
Right.
What you don't want to do is cut yourself off, especially during arguments. You do want to take a time to cool down, but you want to go ahead and revisit the argument, reconcile it, negotiate it, and resolve it.
Yeah.
So that's something that we teach and we tell couples to do, to make sure that you don't leave arguments unresolved, because you will be stuck in that cycle of arguing over and over again about things and listening to generalizations and assumptions during the argument. And then it turns into some sort of blame game, and then you all are competing to be the loudest and to win the argument. You don't want to be stuck in those situations. Those are bad forms of communication.
Yeah.
So you want to be clear and concise and confident in your decisions, men, when it comes down to communicating.
Yeah, and nonverbal skills. You actually, when you said confident, it made me think of that. That's a great nonverbal way of communicating as well. So your posture, how you're sitting up. Women love when a man is like up, straight, open, very confident in his stance. That's very attractive. And women, you too, not being so closed off, having our arms folded, looking in our phones. That's very unattractive. Having your back turned, not having a smile on your face.
Women
All of
in
that
your
stuff.
feminine, speaking out of your feminine
Yeah. All that stuff.
characteristics.
Yep, that's very unattractive. Those are the polar opposites of things that can come off as very attractive. People like when a person is smiling, using, social verbal cues like nodding their head and saying, looking in agreement, looking interested. Those are just all nonverbal cues that can really show, like, hey, I'm interested in you, and I'm confident in myself, and this things that will actually want a person to want to pursue you more. And even when you're in a relationship, making them feel open to talking to you more. Your person will be definitely more hesitant on coming to you if you're always kind of so closed off or short with them, versus being open and like receiving and loving. That's a great way for a person to want to connect and deepen a bond with you. Yeah.
What was it? Also too, empathy.
Oh, yeah,
Empathy
that's a
is
good
a
one.
good one as far as communication. Just
Mhm.
understanding how someone, wanting to understand how someone feel. and
Mm-hmm.
then letting them know that you understand their feelings.
Yeah.
So, especially, guys, make sure that you are empathetic towards the women in your life, because they also are looking for that type of emotional feedback
Yeah.
and making sure that you understand how they are feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Women speak from their feelings a lot, all the time. Um, and men, we more than likely we don't. We're more analytical about
Logical, yeah.
situations, and we go off of basically what we see in facts.
Mhm.
So, a lot of times emotions can't be seen, but
Yeah.
make sure that we follow up as far as asking questions, and then also trying to relate to your wife or your girlfriend when she's saying that she needs some help or either she's not feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you're openly communicating with her feelings. If you haven't done that before, or you don't have an example for that, by all means, you can schedule a consultation with us through my wife's wife economics class website, and then you can ask a question, and we'll be more than glad to help you with that. But by all means, that is a big one dealing with men, because men, we
Mm-hmm.
don't normally know how to communicate with our feelings, but we overly often at times keep our feelings hidden and suppressed, in which it can come out to be a big problem when we express those feelings later.
Yeah. I think about women too, just being able to also express your feelings in a way that's healthy is also very attractive. So, yeah, we do speak a lot from our feelings, especially when we get upset about something. We want to voice that out, right? So, being able to communicate that in a way that clearly lets your spouse know, hey, this is what's going on, this is how I'm feeling, this is why, and this is what we can do to move forward. All of those things and setting that line of communication would really help look more attractive to your spouse and more beneficial for your relationship in the long run. Really being able to communicate, not put words to those feelings, that
Right,
you're saying can't be seen, how being able to verbalize that in a way that's, better received.
right.
Yeah.
Well, what about validating, like validating someone's feelings? And
Yeah, that's good communication skills. Yeah,
right,
for
because
sure.
normally we don't, men, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Try to, say, hey.
Sometimes women too. I don't think that that's so much a sexist thing. I think that's more of a a personal thing. Being able to
Yeah, I
recognize
think so
that
too.
that's good communication to start off, especially if you don't really know what to say. Right, just mimic back what that person said. Like, hey, I hear you saying such and such and such.
Right,
Just even if you just leave it at that.
right. And then also too, kind of digressing, but being supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Being supportive when someone is going through a challenge, or being supportive and just backing your wife or husband.
Yeah,
You know,
or who you're dating.
right.
That's really attractive, right? So if you're dating somebody, and I often think when we were younger in college days, when you used to DJ and have your events, I would always love to go and support. And of course, we're just dating. We weren't even a couple then, but just that I noticed you like that, me
Hmm.
showing up, and I often got close to him by doing that, just showing up at the things that he was doing and being supportive, and just showing, hey, like, I'm here, and that line of communication is open. That's always a great way to be attractive, especially if you're dating, right? Don't be scared to hit that person up, even if you can't go. Hit that person up and be like, hey, how'd everything go? Like,
Right.
you had this going on. That just shows, hey, I'm interested, right? And that person will see that and get that. And if they're interested too, they'll want to talk and tell you more and open up. So it just starts a beautiful bond all the
No, most definitely.
way. Yep. Number 2. So improve your communication. That is a big one.
Yep. And number 3, you ready for number 3?
Yes.
Have a sense of humor.
Ha ha ha.
So everyone likes to laugh, have a
Mm-hmm.
good laugh and joke. Um, my wife may think I joke too much sometimes, and I honestly don't care. So
Right.
I know when to pull back.
Yeah.
But yeah, by all means, I've heard that too. That women loves a guy who can make them laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Laughing makes you feel good on the inside. It
Yeah.
creates nice, um, uh, good brain hormones and those endorphins.
Yeah, nobody likes a boring person, right? I mean,
Hmm.
that's just, we go back to school days. The class clown, he probably wasn't even the most attractive person, but everybody liked them just because you can make everybody laugh. So that's always a great thing is to have that sense of humor and be able to use it to your advantage, right? I think for women, well, men in particular don't care so much. I don't think if the woman can make them laugh. I think they more so value their ability to make the woman laugh. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think women need to make their man laugh as much, but to share laughs with them, I think is really important to be able to do that. But,
Right.
not necessarily, you don't have to be the class clown out here, ladies. That's,
No, I mean, but
Yeah.
I mean, I like, I like it when you can joke with me.
Yeah, right.
You
Yeah.
know, men, we joke a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the
Yeah.
guys that I know, men, I know that we joke a lot more so than probably women. And there
Mm-hmm.
probably are some women out there who can really, joke,
Mhm.
as much as guys do.
And that's attractive too. By all means, I'm not saying like, that, but I'm not saying that that's a requirement either. I think it's a lot easier on us women to not have to do that. But at the same time, being able to laugh at your man's jokes, that will more so connect him to, hey, she's interested, right? Because if you're dating somebody, for example, and if they don't laugh at your jokes and they're not showing any interest in anything you're trying to say funny, then hey, they're probably not the person for you, because you want to be able to laugh and make this person laugh and enjoy that with them, especially if you're trying to have a lifelong relationship. That's a great way to gauge if a person's really interested in you or not,
Right. And then, make sure that your jokes are authentic.
Right.
No one likes somebody who's a horrible horrible
Right.
at telling jokes.
Yeah.
I'm a dad, so I like dad jokes. And I joke a lot
Yeah.
with my boys.
Yeah.
And it makes everybody happy. It makes the family happy as well.
Yeah.
And especially when you're on a date,
Mhm.
it's fun to tell jokes. It lightens the mood. I
Right.
was told that before you do a presentation, it's always good to put a joke. Start off with a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it lightens the mood. It cuts the tension
Yeah.
in the room.
Icebreakers.
Yeah, it breaks the ice.
Mhm.
So that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. That, and especially to like men and women too, but men, if you're telling a woman a joke and she's of course not interested in those jokes, then again, like I was saying, that's not the one for you. But that also, if she is interested and she's engaging and laughing, even if you are corny, oh man, that means she really likes you and she's willing to engage and boost
Plug the
your
computer.
oh
Go ahead,
no,
keep talking.
and like boost we forgot to plug the computer in. and boost the overall morale of the whole situation, right? So just being able to make her laugh. Again, like I said, women, I don't think that's so much a big deal, but if you can authentically, I guess, lighten up the mood, have a light heart with things, not be so serious all the time, be open to listening to those corny jokes and laughing at him. That's, a really great way for him to like you and feel like, hey, she's really interested in me. So, huh? It was on the table. You got it? Sorry, y'all. We coming. But yeah. Okay. So another one. There was a Chinese study that I had actually read. I didn't write this down, but it popped in my head. It was a Chinese study, right? So they put like 18 couples and men and women, and they split it up by faces. And underneath it, they wrote happy or kind or pessimistic or like mean. And those are just the only words that they put under it. And the face was based off of, kind of, I guess, the wording that they put. And so based off of all these pictures, the ones that looked more attractive, they were nice and they were able to make the person laugh or whatever, all of that was rated as sexy. And then based off of the, study that the people did, but the ones that didn't, that had like mean or like serious or any kind of negative connotation with it, those weren't really seen as attractive. So naturally, if a person is like looking at you and, you're engaging with them, you're smiling, you're laughing, those are all like green lights, like, hey, this person is happy and, that's sexy, that's attractive. I like seeing that. Everybody always says I like, seeing somebody smile and something like that. That's a positive thing.
Right. So I mean, if physical attraction isn't one of your strong points,
Yeah.
and you can't communicate well,
Yeah.
try humor, because humor might get you in there.
Yeah.
So just look at it that way too. If you can improve on these attributes one way or another, or the ones that you're lacking in, and like I said, it increase your success rate overall on landing that spouse, that mate that you're trying to court, and it helps overall with just your life skills.
Yep. And one more thought. If you aren't able, like women, to have this authentic, funny personality, just be the one that's always around having the fun. So make sure that your spouse can associate you with fun and not boredom, because like we were saying before, being bored and having boredom associated with you is not really attractive.
Right. It's not amusing.
No, yeah. Nor is it something that a person would be like, oh, I want to come back. This is gives me something to want to come back to. So yeah, learn how to be authentically entertaining. That is definitely a way to be attractive.
Right, most definitely.
Even more.
And then number 4, you ready for number 4?
Yeah.
Financial stability.
Ooh,
This
that's
is
a tough one.
attractiveness.
Right.
That's definitely an attractiveness. Being a provider. That's what I look at it as.
For the men.
I think that's one of the most important factors for men, as far as attractiveness, and then also being marriage fit, is being a good provider, making sure that you're financially stable. So that goes beyond just making money. It's also saying that I got a good credit score. I don't have a lot of debt. I'm working on debt.
Got assets lined up.
Got assets. You have investments.
Financial
fitness. It that makes women comfortable in relationships, so that they know that they can build with you.
Yeah.
That should make you comfortable as well, knowing that you're not one emergency away from being bankrupt.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a security for women. Yeah, it's super attractive for a woman. Of course, I guess it'll come off as like seeing the car you drive or like how you're dressed. Like those are all, of course, the first in material, physical ways that you show, hey, I'm financially stable. But at the same time, on a deeper note, women, we have to pay attention to, on our side, women need to be financially stable as well. So that means being resourceful, knowing how to save just as well as you know how to spend, right? And not having too much debt. If you want a man to come in and provide for you, don't bring in so much debt.
Yep.
That is like a big one. I always tell women, truth be told, young women, if you know your worth, you're ready to be a wife, don't go so quickly to go to college and get up all this college debt.
Right.
Don't do that.
Because I put it like this. If a man is courting 2 women and they both look the same, same height, same complexion, same hair length, all of that. Say they're twins. One of them has college debt and the other one doesn't. Who do you think the man is going to pick? Now, understand that men don't really care about a man. A high value man doesn't care about money. Understand that. But more than likely, the woman who has less debt will be picked.
Because that high value man is smart with his money and he ain't trying to spend all of it to get you your butt out of debt. Like, this is real. Like, come on, guys. So really just not getting into much debt, being financially stable, and also a great characteristic as a wife is to be resourceful, right? To be able to take a little bit and make it work, or to even more so know how to work with what you got and make it even bigger. That's a great trait to have, and men will pay attention to that. If you're just more so focused on buying all this stuff, looking rich, or whatever the case may be, all of that it's not really attractive, and it's going to turn a man off, especially if he wants you to be his wife, because he's just looking at you more so like, oh, this is about to be another bill, especially if I got to pay for the hair, the nails, and no, all of that stuff. You're more so just coming off more like another bill and not so more like a asset, something that's great
about
to
a liability.
Yeah,
big old liability. As a liability.
Yeah, truth be told, that's really what it is. So yeah, financial stability is a big one. And then also how you talk about money, right? So even a poor mindset, that's unattractive, to be honest. Like having always complaining about money, or even worse, always asking somebody for some money. That is unattractive.
That's men too. Men always asking women for money. No.
Very,
women, you should cut that man off if he's consistently asking you for money. No. You need to delete his number from your phone.
Right, because a real man, would go. I mean, definitely know how to make that work and be out here working and not trying to get a mama, have the woman taking care of you by all means. Let's not do that. It's a beautiful manly trait to actually want to be the provider and having the confidence to step up and do that, So sometimes that means getting a mentor who has a wealthier mindset than you, who can align your thoughts to that. Because sometimes hanging out with people that don't have, anything will keep you in a mindset of not having anything. But the conversation is so different when you're talking with people who have stuff and understand money as a resource and ability to go get it and use it for their advantage. So definitely just paying attention to how you're talking about money, how you're coming off and presenting yourself. That will really show your attractiveness or not.
Right, most definitely.
Yeah.
Oh man, and then another thing too, not to pick on the women, but just the overspending.
Yeah.
Overspending and just buying stuff all the time
Yeah.
in a relationship, that is unattractive.
Mm-hmm.
Because your man who's being the provider may, worry about funds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're buying all this expensive stuff. I'm bringing home the money.
Yeah.
Have a communication. Talk to him first before you make a big purchase. Especially if you're a stay-at-home wife.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you want to consider him.
Yeah.
In all purchases that you make. And even guys, if you are, breadwinning and bringing home money, please consult with your wife also as well, because you don't know what you want to communicate with your wife about those type of purchases in case that there may be some other additional looming expenses that may be on the way.
Yeah, just clear transparency, right?
Right, like a baby.
Yeah.
You don't, what if your wife that knows she has a baby on the way and hasn't told you?
Oh,
and you went out and bought a boat. Don't be that guy.
I think it's an issue if your wife didn't tell you yet.
Right. I mean, well, she probably just came home from a doctor visit.
Okay.
Something like that.
Hypothetics, I'm for it.
Right. I mean, you just don't know. You just got to be transparent about your finances.
Right, true. I also think too, it's very attractive, women, if you do have money and you're dating a guy, not saying like you gotta splurge and spend a whole lot of money on him, but it's nice to see you buy some nice things for him too. Not only being the one to for you to be generous as well, right? So everybody loves somebody that's attractive and generous at the same time. So if you can be open to spending the same amount of money on your spouse to say, hey, like, I'm not just looking for you to care for me, but I got a little bit here and I'm wanting to, spend something
like
on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, something, especially because I think men, you can really gauge if a woman is really interested in you based off of if she's spending any money on you. If you always see her buying up a whole bunch of stuff like you were talking about and then never being like, hey, I brought you something too. Ooh, I don't think she's thinking about you. She's probably not as into you as you are into her. So yeah, definitely consider that too. You want to be able to be generous both ways. Don't be, stingy.
Yeah, most definitely.
What's that poor mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
That go both ways. Yep. And the last one.
Number 5, be memorable.
Yeah.
Make memories. So go out there and do things.
Yeah. Or more in particular, find your key way to stand out to a person, right? So if we go back to number 1, and we're talking about not dwelling on your imperfections, right? Not looking solely at the negative side of you, but looking at the positive side of you, and then saying, how can I stand out more in my, significant other or who I'm dating in particular? This will come in handy with, how can I stand out in their mind? How can I be a memory? Is it the way I carry my conversation? Is it the way I make them laugh? Is it the way I, do certain things? It's always something that you can think about yourself that's unique to you that you can leave with somebody so that they, hey, associate that with you. That's always a great thing. I think what's the quote? Something about like always leaving them wanting more, like always leave them, wanting to come back. Yeah. That's my rough quote. I didn't like I was like, I know it's a quote like that somewhere. I should have looked it up. But yeah, basically always leave them wanting to come back and remembering you like, hey, I can't wait to get back to this person because I like, such and such about them.
So be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Be fun. So that goes back to the having a sense of humor in a way.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily, or a sense of adventure as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're with somebody, especially in those boyfriend and girlfriend situations, you want to make, especially dating, memorable.
Yeah.
Or even in marriage, you want to
Mm-hmm.
make your marriage, and especially vacations, time that you actually get together with your loved one. You want to make those times memorable.
Yeah.
Because I know that, me and my wife, we have little children. We have young children with not a lot of help as far as family members to watch our children. So every time we go out, we try to make sure that we make
Yeah.
it memorable in some sort
Yeah.
of way
Yeah.
when
Because
we have
yeah.
that time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
And it helps like create like a memory bank in your mind of, oh, I did this, and this, and I just have a whole Rolodex of stuff I can go back to that say, hey, I had a great time with my spouse, and that association that makes you want to, be with them more and make even more great times with them. So,
right?
yeah, being memorable, that's something, it may not be like something that comes off all the time easy before you go on your date or whatever. I think a lot of times it could be moment to moment, right? So enjoying the moment where you're with that person and then being authentically yourself will help it be really memorable, especially if you go out and I don't know, the date goes awkward. I don't know, you try to go to a restaurant but it's closed and y'all end up having to go to this hot dog spot, but you just figure out a way to
Just make the
make
best.
it make the best. Yeah, that will really stand out and it's attractive. It's a nice thing. You're going out of your way to make yourself, be top priority in a person's mind anyway. Take up the most space out of everybody else, especially if they're dating.
Right.
And even your kids, right? Too. We got to remember, like, especially in a marriage, if you have kids, just remember to try to get out of that thinking, always talking about the kids, even when y'all are alone and stuff like that. That can really kind of draw your attention back to the kids. But if you can just take the time to figure out, how to squeeze in just a focus on you and your spouse, then that'll really, really help your relationship and keep it, interesting and keep that spark going.
Right. Be spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
Do things that are random,
Mm-hmm.
that your spouse would like.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's providing them with a gift.
Sending that freaky picture.
Yeah,
I don't
flirting,
know.
flirting,
Yeah.
spontaneous flirting, stuff like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
But those are things that keep you on their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And they will, like my wife said, you send your husband a text while he's at work, he's going to look forward to seeing you when he gets home. Excited to see you when you get home. If you send him some flirtatious, text message. So there's a lot of things that you can do to increase the fun the fun in your relationship, especially by creating memories and being spontaneous.
I think one thing that pops in my head is like dating women. I kind of associate this with leaving something behind, right? We all can relate to this, especially if you go over a guy's house and y'all are dating, you try to leave something behind so that the guy will think of you or whatever. That's a girl
that
thing.
Ain't the reason why. Women leave stuff behind during dates because they know that you dating somebody else and they hope that they find it. That's why people do that. Yeah.
I would do it to be memorable. I think I got that from my auntie though, because she'll leave around that strong perfume that lasts for like 2-3 weeks, and you just remember her just that strong perfume left behind. Be like that.
Right. But no, that's the reason why people go on dates and they leave underwear all over the place, so that. That's what women do, don't they?
I ain't never did that. I don't know.
Bras and underwear.
That's a bit.
Under the bed, under the sheets, for the next person to see that and be like, no, I ain't. Whose is this?
Well, that's one way to be memorable, and 1 or 2 people might.
Right, but I'm just saying that's what that's the challenge that people got to go through. Boyfriends and girlfriends got to go through.
Yeah,
because you don't want someone else to take your spot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Hey, that's the way to be memorable. Women show that you're a wife off rip. I hear that a lot. Women be like, don't do those wifely duties for that man. No, that's how he knows that you're a wife. Show that. That's memorable. I'm gonna be honest. When I was dating as a young girl, knowing how to cook and being able to cook a good meal, oh boy, a man remembers stuff like that. And you're definitely top of the list. Like, hey, okay, I remember she did this. She can cook. Check. Okay, hit them up first thing in the morning. If you wake up early, I like to wake up early. Do stuff like if you know that you're going to wake up early and he's not waking up, be the first one to send that text message. Don't always be looking for the man to initiate, especially if you're really trying to gauge his attention. Be memorable to be like, hey, he can expect that text message 6 o'clock in the morning. He may not always look forward to it, but when it don't come through, he'll be like, what that text message at? You know? So it's a way to be memorable. Really, you just got to think of little things that you can do that will stand out. And it's going to be unique to you. So don't, do what the next girl is doing or whatever. Just make it unique to you because that's really what's going to make it stick.
Right. Don't be desperate.
Yeah. Right.
Be memorable, but not desperate.
Yeah. Right. Like leaving them draws. I think that's a bit desperate. But I mean, hey, if that go, you got to get it.
Yeah, that is desperate. That's pretty desperate. If you're leaving behind articles.
Yeah. That's a bit.
But or either like those sprinkles. I mean, not the sprinkles, the glitter.
Sprinkle.
Glitter.
Oh, glitter. That's like a was it like a stripper who leave the glitter behind on the husband. So when we go home, his wife know you in the strip club. Get you caught up. Yeah, that's funny. Well, hey, take a note from a stripper. Be memorable. Get some whoever, if they wore some glitter, like them strippers, they wear their glitter. Be memorable that way. Have some glitter and leave it around that way. So any guy he'll see glitter on his pillowcase. Yeah. No, he'll think of you, whatever,
Yeah, but do you want to? Let's wrap up these points. You want to wrap them up?
Yeah. He's just gonna put it on me like that. Okay.
If you want to.
5 quick tips, right, to boost your attractiveness. So, first one we said, it's only right that you make sure not to focus on your imperfections. Super unattractive to be insecure. So, definitely make sure to not focus on your imperfections. So, don't do that. Also, improving your communication skills, things we talk about, eye contact, being clear, active listening, clear and direct. Yeah, all of those things, really attractive. So, work on improving your communication skills. Also, having a sense of humor and being funny, being able to laugh, not being bored, like giving a boredom type of energy, right? Being able to authentically entertain. Somebody likes it if you can stand out in their mind as being able to, be funny and entertain them. That's a nice thing. It's really attractive too. Another one, being financially stable. Men and women, not having too much debt, looking good, dressing good, smelling good, having a nice car, all that is nice. But really having the financial stability in the mind, that really shows, you can have a good mindset and be financially free.
I think that's the most important one.
Yeah. For men in particular, because that's really attractive. Women love that if you can be attractive, and of course, women too.
That's more than being actually physically attractive.
You think? Yeah, probably so. Yeah, because you always see the rich guys. They may not look good, but they
gotta, they have a pretty woman, a pretty wife.
Yeah, so that's definitely, guys, if you can work on being financially stable and get your finances up, like, don't come off as the one who needs the woman to help you out. That 50-50 stuff, I don't care what nobody say, I'm a wife. That 50-50 stuff is unattractive. I don't care. I said it, quote me on it. It is. It just really is. It doesn't give provider. It gives
halfway.
Yeah, I ain't trying to do it all the way. I'm a little scared. It gives fear. It does. If that's what they say.
Yeah, but maybe he can't really.
I know. So work on it.
Right.
Work on it.
Before you get into a relationship, make sure that you are a provider.
Yeah.
A full provider, meaning that you can retire your wife before you get into a relationship.
Right. Well, I mean,
it will increase your chances at marriage.
You don't have to, I don't even think you have to 100% have to fully be able to provide, but just have in your mind that I want to get there, right? I want to be able to provide for my woman completely. That will make her feel comfortable and secure in that. And then women, I know we get on the men about this, but women too, don't be materialistic now. Don't just say like, that's what you're looking for and that's what has to be there. Be open.
Unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, be open to that growth and knowing that, hey, it's little stages of things and it may not be 100% here now, but I see his financial stability in the sense of his mind is growing. He's working towards things. He's building towards things and I'm able to help him build too. So that's really attractive for a man and a woman, right? Financial stability. And the last one, to be memorable. So figuring out a way, you're unique. Nobody can do what you do. Find out what that is and show that person, whether it's your spouse or somebody you're interested in, show them that uniqueness, help it stand out to them. And again, like we said, it's moment to moment. So look for that moment of where you can sprinkle your little uniqueness on it. That would really help you stand out.
And spontaneous. As far as being memorable. That's a good one too, because spontaneity creates memories.
It does. It really does. And it's attractive too. It keeps an excitement. I think I had also read a study too that kind of secrecy if you remember going back, if you were a child and you dated, right? If your parents didn't like who you were dating and they shunned you from dating it and you had to do it out of secrecy, that was kind of, it was sexy, right? You liked that. It made you want to do it even more.
It was risky. You're talking about like
Mhm.
the risk and thrill.
Yeah, so that can kind of go with the spontaneity of it, like just the being able to, just offer that, not 100% all out there, like
The mystery.
yeah, like everything is, out there for everybody to see, but just to have that air of mystery and that spontaneity where you could be like, I'm excited to see what else I can do with this person. That's really cool in a relationship, and it'll keep it fun, especially when things get long and you hit the 10-year mark and you're like, So yeah, it's always fun to keep things going, whether you're married or, dating. So I think these things are good tips that will instantly help boost your attractiveness. And these are all things we all can work on. So if you don't have, you're not a 10, work on your sense of humor, work on being a great communicator. We can all work on that,
your
right?
finances.
Yeah, work on your finances. We can all work on things like this. So it's cool because this isn't like a one and done, and it's something that, can't ever be, obtained. You can all work on it, and that's progress. And that's all we're reaching for, right? Progress.
Which one you gonna work on?
Let me see. I think being memorable. I like that one. That's a good one. I always like to leave them wanting more, so I'm gonna be memorable. What about you?
I think so the same way. So being memorable.
Being memorable?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, come show me this memorable. We gonna go.
Okay, let's go. All right.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
This is a great show. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was fun.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you all viewers, Instagram followers. Thank you all for joining.
What's up?
Go ahead and share our videos.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. And until next time, you all have a wonderful night.
Yeah. Peace.